Can we keep it real?
Yeah, we always have to keep it real.
Can we keep it like super real?
I mean, yeah.
Dating sex is nothing like married sex,
It's
right or
not
wrong.
correct.
Not saying that married sex or one's better than the other, but they're clearly different.
Yeah, I don't think that the actual act of sex is better or worse. I just think that
The process to get to there.
the amount of times,
Yes, the frequency definitely changes. Okay, keep going. I
yeah.
like where you're going with this.
Yeah, the frequency changes because everything changes.
Correct. And it's been a common thing whenever we're with friends
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. The ongoing joke a lot of couples have is the what is it? The reduction in frequency for
Yeah.
how much they have sex. And it's interesting because when I used to before I was married and I would hear guys making jokes about it, it's always the guys making jokes, right? That it's either not enough or whatever. I'm like, how is that even possible? You're with this person every single day, you live together. How is it that you can not have as much sex as when you were dating? And then not being married with kids, I'm like, oh, I see what's going on.
Yeah.
So first, let's talk about the difference, right, between dating sex and married sex. Dating sex is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's spontaneous. Sometimes it's random. It's there's a lot of buildup for it,
Yeah.
right? Like text messages, throughout the day. Kind of like I know when you're a guy and you're just dating, the anticipation for it is really exciting.
Yeah. You guys like kind of try harder to
Oh,
make sure the mood is right.
100%. Like when a guy is just dating or in that phase, we're going above and beyond. We're going to different restaurants. We're going to different bars.
You're whining and dining. You're actually like
Correct.
dating, which is why people say you have to remember to date your spouse when you're married.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there, right? Jumping the gun. But when you're dating, right, like you put on your best outfits when you're gonna go on a date. And again, it's that piece of like you don't know if it's gonna happen or not. If you're at least for a man, right? I don't think women think like this. For them, it's gonna happen whenever they want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
For men, no matter what guy you are, when you're single or when you're dating, you don't know. It's 50-50. For most men, it's 90-10, meaning 90% not gonna happen, 10% gonna happen. So that level of excitement is there. And then, it's also more frequent, right? When you're in the dating phase with somebody, you probably I mean, what would you say the number is frequency wise?
Definitely like 3 or more times a week.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think so. And that's pretty standard, right? If you're dating someone and it's less than that, there's probably an issue there.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of the coin, right? When you're married, you have your careers, which are probably well into your careers. You have kids, maybe multiple kids. You have way more responsibilities, joint and separate, but
Hmm.
primarily joint, right? You have maybe a mortgage, you have kids' tuition, you
You
have
have
all these
real
things.
life problems.
Yes. And that whole uh, excitement piece or whatever goes completely away. Don't you think?
Yes. Because I want to define excitement as it being spontaneous because even those are two
Yeah.
different things, but I want to say like the spontaneous aspect of it goes away. I don't think the excitement of it goes away because if you're still into your spouse, you're still
I,
excited about it,
I
but it's
get,
just
yeah.
the spontaneous side does go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, because when you're married, you also don't know when it's going to happen or not.
Yeah.
But
For other reasons.
yeah, for other reasons, you're kind of throwing your wife signs throughout
Yeah.
the week, throughout the day. And I know women for the most part know when a man is overdue,
Yeah.
right? He gets a little grumpy, starts
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
shots,
You two always know.
starts getting a little cranky.
We actually, you say you have ongoing jokes with guys about stuff. Well, us women have ongoing jokes about you guys because we're like, oh, this guy just needs to get it. Like he's just he's bitching about a light that was on or like about something super insignificant and he needs to get it popping.
Listen, light ain't free, right? And yes, when it's been a while, a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, those little things bother you more because we all know we have a lot going on, work, stress, all that. And from a man, we just look at it like the least we can get is that on demand. We know it's not on demand, right? We know that's out the window. But I'm stressed out. A little pick me up. a little a little
Like
pick me up.
what
Not gonna kill
happened to
nobody.
like a coffee that's like a pick me up?
Yeah, I mean, coffee's not as exciting. And if women understood, and I still don't think you've understood this, how much easier your lives would be if you guys were just more in tune with that, it would be a game changer.
I just think that it's not that women understand or don't understand, and it's clearly not that I don't understand because I know the power that I have when I do that. So it's not that we don't understand. I just think that it's difficult for you guys to realize that the same way you treated us when we were dating, which is different than when we're married, is kind of what we still crave.
I'm gonna yell cap,
No,
foul on the
you
play,
shouldn't.
because I don't think that's what it is.
It's
I don't think, look, I'll be honest, right? I know we court less, or I court less when we're married with kids and all that. And part of the reason you got married, not is to eliminate that completely,
you
but
were just like, oh, if I get married, I'm
no,
gonna
because you
snap
gotta
my
think about
fingers
it.
and she's gonna.
But that's the thing. Certain things are supposed to get a little bit easier when you get married, right? And not to say that the courting process, goes away completely, but it should not be a requirement, right? And this is why I yell, flag on the play, because I think even if you or women in general were courted more by their husbands, right, to what you think would be acceptable, I don't think it's going to increase the frequency of that. I don't think so. I think what it will do is keep you in a better mood, um, give you little bursts of, feeling good and feeling nice and feeling appreciated throughout the day. It's not going to make you want to do it more.
But that's exactly the point. When you do those little things and you get somebody in a good mood and they're more, they feel appreciation. I feel like women are like, you know what? Like there's a really big chance they're going to be more in the mood. And I also I want to point something out because you said something about how like when you get marriage would make certain things easier, and it's marriage. I don't view it that way, and I could tell you that a lot of women probably agree. I don't think marrying somebody or marriage makes anything easier or harder. It's still like you're still carrying on your relationship. You're just one now, right?
No,
So
but the priorities change, right? When you're single and you're a single man, your priority is to sleep with the woman. It's not paying the mortgage. It's not, making sure the kids are in a good school. It's not planning a family
exactly.
vacation.
So why
It's
would you
none of
think
that.
it's easier? Because you said you thought
Well,
it was
because I said
easier.
certain things should be easier. For example, sex, right? Because when you are dating, yeah, you should court and you should put on your best, foot forward when you're courting a woman, 100%. I'm not saying you should stop completely, but you shouldn't have to keep that same level of intensity up. It's not
Yeah, but it's
sustainable.
a little bit contradicting because you're saying that it's easier, but then we have additional responsibilities and more things on our plate when we're married. So it's not easier. It's actually a little bit harder.
I, I get what you're saying, but that also works into my argument, right? Because we do have a lot of things going on. We do have to work. We have to provide. We have to handle all the fires that come up throughout the week. And then you still want us to court at that level. It's not easy. As a married man, you show your love and appreciation in the small daily things that we do, right? Fixing your coffee every night, bringing you chocolate milk at night while you're in bed, helping you with certain things, setting things up for you because I know it makes your life easier. You don't do any of those things when you're dating, right? What you do is you go to a really nice restaurant, you go to a really nice bar, you you wash the car, you get a haircut, you do all this for that moment. When you're married, you're doing little things that I think are more impactful and more meaningful throughout, your entire day, every week, every month. So to have to court at that level, it's not sustainable. And I don't think,
Yeah, and I think that in addition to what you're saying, to have to, you know, have sex more often, right? While you're also going through that as a mom and as a wife and as a husband and as a father, like it's also not sustainable. I think that the reason why the frequency decreases, I mean, you don't have to agree, but I think the reason why it decreases is because of that. Which the truth of the matter is, like, it's not like it's non-existent, right? Like
no.
it shouldn't. You're so stupid. It shouldn't be that you're not actually like having sex with your spouse. There's obviously an issue if you're not. But is it going to be as many times as when you were dating? Probably not.
Okay. You know what I think it is? I could be wrong, doubt it. I think that women, just like men, go through different seasons in life,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're dating, typically it's in your 20s, right? Mid 20s, early 20s, whatever. And a woman's season in that time is being her best self in that moment. It's really all about her in that moment. It's how can I advance my life, my career? I want to wear the best clothes. I want to have all the designer bags. At that time, I want to have the best makeup. I want to smell good. I want to drive the best cars. I want men to crave me. I think that's a thing that women like at that age. I want I want to have options. I want to be able to choose who I want. And I think once you leave that season, right, you go into marriage. Now it goes into, okay, it's all about my husband right now because you got married. It's all about my husband and the life we're building together. And that's exciting. And when you first get married, the sex is almost similar, or it doesn't really taper off when you first get married. It's kind of same intensity because now the women switch from myself season to me and my husband season, which is fantastic. And then she gets pregnant. And then now it's I'm pregnant season. And my body is different. I don't feel as confident. I can't move. I can't work. I have to rely on a man that I've never had to rely on before. So now it becomes that. And yes, sometimes women do crave sex while they're pregnant. That's the hormone speaking. That's not them, you little animal. Um, but that's not apples to apples. You can disregard that because that's specifically hormone speaking, right? So you leave that season and now you go into newborn season, right? Am I tracking? Are you tracking so far?
Mm-hmm. I'm
Okay.
listening.
So you go into newborn season, and when you go into newborn season, it's forget myself, meaning you forget about yourself. You forget about the pregnancy phase, as terrible as that was. Now it's all about the baby.
Yeah.
Literally all about the baby. The husband is like, you're in the way. And it's all about the baby. And you're not even thinking about sex at this point because how could you think about sex when you have to care for this baby? You want to make sure it's alive and stays alive and lives a good life. And are you being a good mom? Do you have mom guilt? Then you go into the season of toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's about planning for the kid, planning for the family.
And also planning for when you can get it
Okay, but
done
so
without
so
the
so what I'm
interruption.
saying, right after the marriage season, the the focus on sex starts literally going downwards. If there was a chart, it's not even a thought. Not saying that you don't want it or women don't want it. It's just not even top of mind, right? Because your form of showing affection is, when I say you, I'm talking about women in general, is how much love and attention you're putting towards my kid, right? And then yeah, we appreciate it, but we still want the other thing. And the more like life goes on, it doesn't like ever really bounce back to like that attraction with the husband. I think that's when people say it takes a lot of work to
Mm-hmm.
maintain the relationship. But one thing you need to understand is that throughout all those seasons, there's never a season where a man doesn't want sex. There's never a season for that. Like it never leaves our mind. It never becomes on the back burner. I don't care how stressed or how much I'm working or how much bills or anything you got going on. You can always or you always want to get it on, right? As a man, it never leaves. So we look at it as well. Men look at it as a utility, right? It's an outlet. It's also a form of intimacy, but it's an action that doesn't take much work, right? It doesn't take much work.
Like 3 minutes.
That's not fair, okay? Um, for us, it's such a 30-minute experience that it's such a fraction of a time that like why not just clear the pipes, right?
Yeah.
And like we're clear headed, we can work better, we can make more money, we can do more things. Like, why not just do that for us? Because men, we're constantly adding on to our plate also of other things, with the kids, with the house, with the family. Why not just give us a bone, no pun intended, and just do that, knowing like for us it means so much.
I mean, I agree with you.
What do you think about my seasons, first of all?
I think your seasons are accurate,
Spot
right?
on.
I think they are accurate. I think we go through different seasons, and you know, oftentimes we forget about where it started, which is yourself and us, right? So I think that the seasons are accurate. I think I agree with you. It should happen more often for married couples. I don't disagree.
All
It's
right,
just,
episode over. Let's
all
jump.
right, gotta go. I don't disagree. I feel like things are different, and it does become more difficult. It becomes more difficult really because of the exhaustion, right?
From
From your kids,
oh
right? You have like mental exhaustion, like you're physically exhausted too,
no, I agree. I agree.
so sometimes you get to bed and you're just like, oh my god, my feet, like you finally start to feel everything aching from the fast day that you just had to try to make it all work out. And it's so funny because sometimes we go to bed, and we've talked about this before, like we'll look at each other and we're like defeated
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we feel like completely defeated that day. And then there's others days, which I had a day like this week. I think it was like on a Monday, which is Mondays are my crazy day. But the kids were already showered. I was showered. I was on the couch with my legs up at like 7 p.m. And I was like, oh my God, like I won today.
Oh, okay.
I won. I defeated the day. They didn't defeat
Conquer the
me.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I agree with you. I agree that because I'm also exhausted. And I'm infamous for after I lock up the doors and close all the shades and walk into the room, I stand in front of the bed and scream out, defeated.
I
To the
know.
point where when I walk in and I just look at you guys, Ava looks at me and goes, defeated.
She knows.
Cause yeah, a lot of times life kicked my ass for that day.
Yeah.
And I feel exhausted. But guess what? I still got energy for dessert.
Do you?
Let's come on. I could climb Mount Everest and have energy for that. There's always energy for that. There's never been a time, we've been dating since 2016, almost 6 years, that I've said,
Six
nah,
years? No, even 6 years married.
9 years.
9 years.
There's never been a time where I go, "Ah, I'm too tired." Or we get to bed and I'm like, yeah, I got a headache and I got a stomach ache. And I'm just like giving you signs that like it's not happening. That's never happened. I don't think it's ever happened. If I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever, yeah, I don't think I've ever been like, you know what? I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah. I also think that it's important to, like we were talking about earlier, continue to like court that woman, because
Okay.
I think it starts with that.
I don't.
It doesn't end with that. I think that's part
I
of it.
don't. I don't. And I respectfully disagree. I don't think it has anything to do with courting. I think, of course, I think all women want to be courted continuously. That's why when you go to that little Cuban bakery and you were like the men were looking at you and it felt great. I think you like that. I think women like the attention. I think they also like it from their husband and to be courted. I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna get you in the bed more. What I think it takes
Maybe
is,
you should try it.
first of all, I court the hell out of you, right? So chill. But what I think it is, I think it's not a psychological thing. I think it's just like a mental thing. Like it's it's not a evolutionary need anymore, right? Because you already have your kids, right? And you already have the husband, so that kind of eliminates that. It also like how we lose our courting, you lose your the vibe of being a fertile single woman. You get what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah.
already gave birth and you're married and you're taken. So I think it's a mental thing. I think what's going to change it is if women actively or intently switch their mindset. Because I think naturally women's sex drive, and I think there's all women. I feel like it goes down like after kids. I don't think. I think it goes back up when they hit, what is it, menopause? or when they start getting the what?
No, I don't think it's menopause. I think they say in your some women say in their 30s.
But
Other women say in their 40s.
what's the common theme here, right? All the stuff that we talked about is over for them. So it kind of opens that world up again. So that tells me that it's like it's human nature for that to happen.
No, I think that the fact that some women say 30s and then other women say 40s, it all depends on what stage they are in their life. Some women who are 30 in their 30s might have older children who don't need of them as much. And then there's other women who maybe waited a little longer to have children, and in their 40s is where they experience
But
the
you're
time.
answering my question. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But literally, you're answering my question. That's what I mean. The whole thing about the kids and about all, it all goes away, and now their mind opens up, and oh, there's my husband again, or there's if she's single and she already had kids, and there's men again, and they're ready for that again. So that's literally proof in the pudding that it's a mental thing. It's not about courting because a horny 50-year-old woman or 40-year-old woman, I don't think she needs to be courted. I think she there's a reason why she's turned on so much, and because her mind switched back to that. So that's what I'm saying. Like I know you women want to be courted, but I think it's just a mental switch.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the sole reason.
I don't think it's a reason at all.
I think it's part of it. I do think it's part of it because
it's a reason at all.
I think you have a better chance at getting it if your wife is in a good mood. So it is part of it because if she's in a bad mood, it's not happening.
Okay.
So, and what can get her in a good mood are different things. It just depends on the woman. So, I don't think it's, and again, you have your opinion and I have mine. I don't think it's the actual, like, only reason, but I do think it's part of it. I think that you guys also feel like, okay, well, I already have the wife and the kids and the house.
And we still want to have sex.
100%. You still want to have sex, but you don't want to work for as hard for it.
Okay, because we're working on other things, right? We're
like us. We're working on other things, like our kids.
Exactly. But that's
and
the
this
thing.
house.
But that's the thing. We're still working, and it's not like we're ignoring you and kicking you to the curbs. We're still doing things for you, probably on a higher level than a man dating you is, and the sex goes down. And I think it goes back to the mental thing. The need for a man to have sex never goes down. It never goes. Look at Al Pacino. You know who Al Pacino is? Mm-hmm. And Robert De Niro, the actors. They're like 80-something. He just had another baby. His girlfriend's like 26. She had another baby. In his mind, he's going to have sex for the rest until the day he dies. Women don't think like that. Women have it in the beginning. It turns off for a little bit, and then it turns on for a short period of time.
I don't ever hear a woman say she's never going to have sex.
Yeah, but the need for...
We always want sex, too. It's just... as we age, different, our priorities are a little bit different.
You're answering my question. That's what I'm saying. Courting, it's not going to affect it that much. What's going to affect it is if the woman makes a switch to be like, all right, I'm going to prioritize the intimacy between me and my husband, because there's other ways to have intimacy, right? Touching, appreciation. We talk about that all the time. But sex is completely different from all that. And if a woman or a couple wants to have more sex, I don't think it's anything the man can do. If he's just being a good husband and just not as courting as much, I think it's something the woman has to do. The woman has to initiate, not necessarily initiate it, but has to be more into having it more.
Yeah, but I also think you're right? But I also think that the man should, like, give some grace in the sense of the woman's going through so many different changes.
How much grace? What's the time period on grace?
Well, it's, again,
until the
maybe
kids
you should
go to high
ask
school?
Other married couples and see,
But that's the thing. Most married couples, remember, the generation before us is our parents' generation, right? And they were very old school in how they did things. And the men and women had completely different roles. So that they're probably not the best people to ask. We're in a very unique situation in this time right now. So I just, based off the research and the data that I've concluded, is if a married couple wants to have more sex, it's 99% on the woman to want to have more sex, because the man is always going to want to have sex. Point blank, period.
I know, but you just have to remember that just because a man always wants to have sex, that doesn't mean that a woman needs to, like, do what the man wants to do.
Correct.
So I think it's important that you look into your data and you study what a woman needs, right? So that she can want to have more sex, even though she has 1,000 other things going on. right? So,
I get what you're saying.
yeah,
I get it. And I know the argument that some women make because women work now and they contribute to the household and they make money and they're taking on more of a masculine role. But then there's also women that don't work and they take on more of a traditional role and they have the same kind of situation. It's our era of thinking. Like we know women who don't work and they just take care of the child all day. And guess what? That's a tough job.
it is very
It's
tough.
exhausting. So
I would not want to switch places
but
with
that's
them.
what I'm trying to say. Like a woman who's been with a toddler throwing up, throwing tantrums from morning to nighttime, she's not trying to get it popping.
Well, thank you. That's exactly what I mean. And that's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. It's different scenarios for different
But
marriages.
this is what I'm trying to say is that the man is could go through hell. A man could be a coal mine worker. He could work at Microsoft. He could be a fireman. All three of those guys are gonna want to get home, be exhausted, maybe have a crappy boss, and still want to get it done. That's what I'm trying to say. That if a couple wants to have more sex, if that's a thing, it's gonna be solely on the woman to make that decision.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I
It's
mean,
not us, because I guarantee I'll court the hell out of you for the next 3 months.
start.
I bet you the frequency is going to go up 0.2% because I know it's not that.
Actually, that's so here's why I don't agree with you. I also think that it's important to like look at different ways on how to have sex.
There's two, there's, there's two primary
No,
ways.
I get that, but like, just to change it up, and experience new things with your spouse. And you say, because again, men go back to
Because it
like
doesn't. That
they
this
don't
is,
they don't want to like have to work. They're just like,
no, it's
can
not.
you give it to me
Because
now? And that's it.
that's not a driver. That's not going to change anything. I get what you're saying, and everything you're saying is valid, but it's so
So you mean to
minuscule.
tell me that if we found a way to release within, for a woman it takes a little longer than a minute,
Not for
right?
you.
So for shut up. To release in, I don't know, 30 seconds, because
First of all,
there's
that's possible.
yeah, okay, every single time, right? It doesn't happen every single time. So every single time, if there was a way that we found that, oh well, if you do it in this position or if you do it this way, it'll, it's a different reaction, it's a different vibe.
But this is cap again because
No, I'm just saying, I'm trying to find
you're
solutions.
not. Women are not. No, 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 no. This is
Trying
why
to find
you're going around the.
solutions.
You're beating around the bush because the issue why women are not having sex as much is not because they're bored of sex, because they're
No,
not bored with
I
the
don't
sex.
think it's about that they're bored.
That's my point. They're not bored with sex. They're not uninterested. They're not attracted to their husband. That all is still very well so. It's just the season they're in is not about the husband and his sexual appetite or her sexual appetite. Your sex drive or your need to have it goes down tremendously. I think the bright side of this is that I think it's something everybody goes through.
I don't think, I know. We talk to so many married couples, and I don't think there's one that's like, yeah, right, we have sex twice a day, every
No, no,
day.
I know, and yeah, you're right. I rarely, because when I'm with men and we're
And
just talking,
it's mostly like healthy couples. Like
oh,
it's not it's
100%.
not like they're unhappy or
But
anything.
this is why I was being clear. Like, I'm not specifically talking to you. I'm talking to women in general. Because when I talk to men, it's the same. Like, we all have the same conversations, and I guess it's reassuring for me and also for them when we talk about it. It's like, oh, this is something everybody goes through. It's on TV. It's a well-known thing.
Yeah, you're probably like, oh my God, so my wife does love me. It's just, it's not me.
Yeah, I just think as a species of men, we need to get together and figure out a way. Like, if we could put a man on the moon and we could build Lamborghinis and Bugattis, we got to figure out a
No,
way.
I think that just communicating it. I think, like, for
Like on a
example,
podcast. So
so like
tens
now
and
I
twelves of
know
people can
that
see
I
it.
have to get it popping every single day.
No, no, that's not true. But I think it's interesting, right? Because again, like I said, we all kind of talk about it. We all men joke about it, and maybe this is a good way for us to start that conversation. For other people to start that conversation also.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important. I think a conversation's everything, especially in marriage.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be if you vowed to be with each other for the rest of your life, then yeah, like sit down and talk to each other about what's important to you, what's gonna make you happier. And if it's that, then
Yeah.
I think the right thing is that, the woman carves out the time for it. I know for certain that there's times where I know for a fact, like, all right, maybe today I'm not in the mood, but today's gonna have to be the day.
So I noticed that. I notice when you notice that I'm either stressed out and like I'll get a vibe from you. You start throwing like hints and shots, and then maybe you were doing it 2 days in a row and nothing happened, and then like on the third day you're like, I can't bluff
Yeah.
anymore. Like, and I feel it, but I try to act like I don't know that that's what you're planning.
Yeah,
So
I'll come to like his desk, give him like a quick little massage and like rub your head, and I'm like, all right, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look, it's we're not. It's the great thing is that all these people we talk to, and even us, like we're still very much so into our wives.
Yeah,
Like in that red dress, you look amazing.
thank you, baby. You said it before we started. You said it again. That means you
I
really like
know.
it. I always know when I look good because you repeat the compliment. You don't just say it once.
Yeah, because we could give you a compliment, and then you guys could just take it and like, You give us a compliment, we're like, oh, it's like you want it,
Oh
don't
my
you?
God.
You want it, don't you?
It's so funny how men and women are completely different. I remember when we were just dating and we worked in the same place. And I would say, oh, this manager is so nice or something.
He just wants
And
to.
you're like, he just, well, I'm like, where did you get that from?
It's because
Like,
you were
why?
so naive. When we worked at that company, we had the president of the company. He was probably maybe 42, 43 at the time. This was what, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, cause I'm a peep master. I mean, I peep everything, right? So we'll be at like functions and stuff, and I can see them looking at you from a distance, and they're not doing anything overtly like whatever, but you can see the giggles, the elbow hits,
Yeah.
and when they're talking to you and they're super nice to you, and then you walk away. I mean, I'm a man. I know men, right? In their mind, they have either a little fantasy going on, or they think they can actually get you. And I know how men think. Men are retarded, right? If a woman's nice to a man, he thinks he can have sex with her. That's how men think.
That's
And you were
ridiculous.
so naive about that.
I
So
remember I
naive.
used to be like, what are you talking about? He's married.
Oh yeah, like that. Oh my bad. Nobody's ever cheated. Nobody's ever
I
like.
mean, honestly, I don't agree with people who do that they're married and they cheat. I mean, if you do it, you do it. It's not,
Yeah, but it's
to
the
me,
nature
it's
of
not a
it.
normal thing. It shouldn't be like regular behavior. So when I would say, are you insane? That guy's married. It's not because I thought the guy was a saint. It was because in my eyes, he was untouchable. Like I would never.
No, yeah, I get you, but men are men. Maybe not. Maybe he, because he was most likely married, but not saying that he was a cheater or anything. But he sure as hell thought about it and envisioned it.
Maybe because his wife doesn't give him none
No, because I
every
think
single
again
day.
that's a universal thing. I think, and I also think the older men get, the more they crave beauty and like youthfulness. And he's probably older than 40. Like, now I'm thinking about it, he's probably much older than that. So
Yeah.
the fact that you were shocked about it is like I'm not shocked.
I mean, I was very young too.
Like
Like I don't. You're right. I was very naive. Like I did it. I
you
just.
were super naive. I didn't understand. I'm like, there was this time when there was a new guy that worked at work. Do you remember? And
Oh, the cooler guy.
yeah, and then like we were already kind of like talking. We weren't dating, but we were like in that
Yeah.
phase. And like approached you in the break room or something, and then somehow you gave him your number, and then he texts you, "Can we kick it sometime?" or something like that. Remember, I'll come.
Yeah. And I was like,
I'm like,
what?
okay, hold on. So you give this man your phone number because I think he wanted to like he just moved here or
Yeah.
something.
I don't even remember the situation. I just know that it was like he almost tricked me into giving.
No, either you were naive or maybe you thought he was cute. I
No,
don't know.
definitely not cute.
Because in my mind, I'm like, how do you give a man your phone number and think he just wants to kick it and just
Like
hang
he
out
just wants a
and be a
friend.
tour guide? And then when he started texting you, you were surprised. I'm like,
It's so funny. I look back at
what
that.
do you expect?
I look back at that Natalie sometimes, and because I feel
Meathead.
like definitely not a meathead, but I was very innocent, and I don't know.
I don't think you were innocent. I just think you were naive. Very different.
You think so?
You weren't innocent, but you just were naive.
I still do. Yeah, naive is part of it, but I don't know. There's like I think I held on to like a pure side of me for a long time.
I also don't think at that age, or maybe you did know, and then because you also have a distinct look to you, like an exotic look to you that it's not normal. Like I don't know how else to explain it. You have a unique look to you, so men find that attractive, right? And it immediately triggers that fantasy in a man's head, right? About like this is different. So the fact that you give this man your phone number and you already have that appearance It's like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah.
And men, like I said, men are retarded or silly, right? So if a man is talking to a cashier and the cashier is being nice, he's like, oh, she wants me.
Yeah.
That's how men think.
That's so ridiculous. If a guy, even now, if a guy's being nice, I mean, sometimes I catch it and I'm like, oh, this guy. But other times I'm like, oh, he's just a kind human. Like, we still
He's a
have
kind
those.
human.
We still
Yeah,
have those
that
around.
goes back to like, oh, he's like my brother. Really, give him a call right now. Call him at 2 a.m. Say, hey, bro, can I come over? He's not even asked why. He's like, yeah, I'm up.
I'm here. The door's open.
Anybody who a woman says, hey, fellas, if your girl says he's like a brother, have her text him at any time of the day and say, hey, come over and see what happens. Insane. You guys sometimes, I don't know.
So, all right, back to the whole sex situation. All in all,
Yes,
what
we
is
can
your
have more of it.
recommendation?
Yes, we can have more. If that's what
Great.
you want,
You
we'll
got
do
it,
it.
boobs. What is your recommendation to have that happen more
Look,
often for married couples?
I agree with you, right? I do agree that we can do a better job of courting you, doing more sweet things above and beyond the things that we already do. That's what I'm saying. Like you had valid points. It's not everything, but I do think it helps when a woman is in a soft state of mind, right? She's not stressed out. She's not worried about, because with a woman, there's so many things she can worry about, right?
Yeah.
Finances, kids, career, friendships, so many things. So if you can eliminate some of those, if your husband can help eliminate some of those things, I think it'll put you more in that soft girl era, soft girl
Yeah.
season. Look, as far as us communicating it, I think all men universally communicate it. I
I
mean,
just
we
think
maybe
that,
we maybe communicate it more vulgarly.
yeah, like aggressively, maybe.
Yeah, and you wouldn't do that while you're dating. Like a man's like, hey, it's been 2 days. Why don't we like men don't do that when they're
Yeah.
dating. That's a married thing, and I agree. It's not sexy,
Yeah, it's not.
right? So I agree with you in that sense.
Yeah, so definitely communicate about it more.
Okay, so from the woman's point of view, what can men do besides courting them to get the woman more in the mood to do it?
I think, well, you said courting.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great experiment. it's the reason why you're having a tough time is because it's a
So
universe.
what was the question again?
What can men do to increase the frequency of sex? And I said besides courting, because I'm telling you is like that's the scapegoat answer. But the reality of it is that it's a mental switch. You guys flip that switch once that baby's born.
Yeah. I would think that, yes, courting is a huge part of it, but like, I don't think what they can do, I think more than anything, like just give women a little bit of grace because, of course, we're not the same woman we were when you were dating us. You're not the same man either. So it's important that you give your spouse some grace because we all go through seasons. And then relationships change a lot, and the responsibilities that come with marriage and kids make you change too. So, yes, definitely 100% court your woman a lot more so that she could at least feel like loved and sexy and like want to get in the mood. But also give her some grace. Like, there's a lot of shit going on, man.
I agree. I think it sucks when you're a man because you just have to agree to get it. It's one of those things. Like, oh, my favorite color
Well,
is
the
blue
good thing
too.
here is that women, we have all the power.
Exactly.
We do.
You
Okay?
100% have all
So
the
we
power.
just have to like know how to use it, and give the man
Use it more.
Yeah. Well, when your husband does the things you want him to do, I think that's a
Oh.
great way of rewarding him.
What about just if he's just being his normal great self and doesn't do something specifically, shouldn't he get it then also? Or it's only
Yeah.
on specific acts?
No, I think you should just get it because you want to give it to him. But
Do-
also, if you are looking for, because that's the thing, babe, not everyone has a healthy marriage.
We're not
Right?
talking about those.
Yeah, but well, it can be because those people could be watching. But if you are not in a healthy marriage, and that's part of your problem, then after you have that conversation with your spouse, maybe give them that as a reward.
But do you agree that universally women tend to um, neglect the sex part of the relationship once they're married and have kids?
Not that they neglect it, because neglect is harsh.
No, it's not.
Neglect,
It's a real word.
yeah, but you're meaning that like we
It's
just
not.
don't want it at all.
No, 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 no,
Here's
no,
the
no, no,
thing.
no, 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 no. Let me hold on. I have to clear. That's not what neglect means. Neglect doesn't mean you don't want. No, no, no. Neglect means it's just not. You're not even
You're
thinking
not.
about it. Avoiding it. That's negative.
Okay.
I'm not
So,
saying you avoid it.
yes,
I'm
we
saying you
do neglect it
it.
a little bit because, again, our mind is somewhere else most of
Exactly.
the time. However, I also do know, and I know a bunch of my friends like this, that they're clock watchers. Some women who have never had a baby and want to have a baby or want a second or third baby, they're like literally clocking their uterus and their ovaries to make sure that it's time. So, there's data that shows that if you don't have it within like 3 days before you're actually ovulating, and then you have it when you do ovulate, there's a higher chance of you getting pregnant. And I know this because I've obviously read about this in the past. So oftentimes we lose the magic in that, right? Like some women lose the spontaneous aspect of it because you're like, oh my God,
You're right, but
in the next week or so.
that's not what we're discussing. We're not discussing people who are trying to get pregnant because that is a different situation. It's a more delicate situation, right? And the man is very understanding in that situation because you're both trying to conceive and give life. That's different. My question was, can you agree that women tend to neglect, I'm not talking about you, universally, the sexual component of their marriage after kids? Yes. Or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you agree that men tend to court a woman less
Yes.
after they've been
Yes.
married?
It's easy for me to say yes.
So,
Okay.
so then if your answer is yes
But
and my
listen.
answer is yes, can we agree that if a man courts a woman a little bit more while
Nothing's gonna
married,
happen.
they
Nothing's
will,
gonna happen.
yeah.
No, because we literally just established that has nothing to do with courting. It's about being a season and a mental switch that happens when you have kids. All I'm saying,
And I said it wasn't the
because
sole reason, but it is part of
I
it.
know, but I think something that's a bigger driver force, and I don't want to keep going in circles, is the mental switch that women make. All right, so if we can agree that men can court more, right?
Hmm.
And we can also agree that women, when they're in a different season, their mind switches off,
Correct.
have less sex, then I think the conclusion here is that a couple needs to make a united effort to have more sex if that's a goal.
100%.
You have to intently do it because I don't think one side doing one thing more than the other is going to solve that dilemma.
Yeah, and I also think that communicating what you guys are going to try to do to like put more effort into it is part of it, because I feel like maybe if a man tries to court more often and sees that in a week nothing's happened, the frustration's going to grow.
That's a great experiment because, yeah, if a man tries,
Mm-hmm.
overtly tries and brings you flowers and all this stuff that he does when he's dating, which is kind of ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
And it doesn't happen, the house is getting burnt down.
Yeah.
House is getting
So
burnt to the
I think
ground.
communication first, and then implement those things.
And then mental switch from the woman to be like, okay, you know what? Let me make this a decision because the power is in your hands. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
This whole episode is about the power is in your hands. Mm-hmm. So use the power wisely.
All right, let me go use the power now.
Okay. Shit. All right, guys. I think we can leave it right there.
Yeah.
Guys, hope you found this interesting and entertaining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Please leave some comments and let us know what else you want to hear. And I also want to hear your take. What do you think?
How many times do you guys have it a week or a month? Whatever works for you. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.